We looked at 10 of the most popular car battery brands in America and ranked them from worst to best by one simple question: which batteries actually give you the most life for your money? Some brands charge premium prices but fail no better than budget batteries. Others quietly outperform brands that cost nearly twice as much. The battery that finished dead last is one of the biggest names in the industry, and our number one pick is a brand many drivers overlook, despite consistently outperforming much more expensive competitors. Every battery receives one of 3 ratings: skip, conditional, worth it. Let's start at the bottom. Methodology. Unlike motor oil, you can't judge a battery by looking at it. So instead, we compared the things that actually matter: cold cranking amps, reserve capacity, warranty coverage, independent testing, manufacturer reputation, real-world reliability, and value for money. Because the best battery isn't always the most expensive one. Brand 10, DieHard. For decades, DieHard was the battery everyone wanted. It built its reputation on reliability, long life, and being the premium choice for drivers who didn't want to think twice about replacing a battery. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, there's a good chance your parents or grandparents swore by DieHard. The problem is, today's DieHard isn't the DieHard that earned that reputation. After Sears declined and eventually sold the brand, DieHard changed ownership and manufacturing partnerships. Modern DieHard batteries are produced by different manufacturers depending on the model and retailer, which means quality isn't as consistent as it once was. That's where things become confusing for buyers. Some DieHard batteries perform perfectly well. Others deliver little more than average performance, despite carrying a premium price tag. Independent testing generally places them in the middle of the pack for cold cranking performance and reserve capacity, but rarely at the top. And that's the issue. You're paying for a legendary name, not necessarily legendary performance. For roughly the same money, several competing brands consistently deliver better reliability, stronger warranties, or longer service life. That doesn't make DieHard a bad battery. It just makes it a poor value in today's market. If your vehicle already has one installed and it's working well, there's no reason to replace it early. But if you're standing in the store choosing between DieHard and several similarly priced competitors, we'd spend our money elsewhere. Because the next brand proves that even some of America's biggest auto parts retailers don't always sell their best value under their best-known name. Brand 9, Duralast. If you've ever bought a battery in a hurry, there's a good chance you've walked into AutoZone and walked out with a Duralast. It's one of the best-selling battery brands in America, largely because it's convenient. Nearly every city has an AutoZone. The warranty is easy to access, and you can usually get back on the road the same day. But convenience doesn't automatically mean it's the best value. Like many private label brands, Duralast batteries have been manufactured by different suppliers over the years. Today, many are produced by Clarios, one of the largest battery manufacturers in the world. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Clarios also builds batteries for several well-known brands. The catch is that not every Duralast battery is built to the same standard. The entry-level models are designed to hit a price point. They'll start your car, but they typically offer lower reserve capacity and shorter expected service life than the premium versions. Move up to the gold or platinum lines and the performance improves significantly. That's why Duralast is difficult to rank. It's really 3 different products wearing the same badge. If you're buying the cheapest model because it's sitting on the shelf, there are usually better values elsewhere. But if you're choosing the gold or platinum line, especially during a promotion, you're getting a battery that's genuinely competitive with many premium brands. Buying rule: skip the base model. If you buy Duralast, spend the extra money on the gold or platinum version. But if you think paying more always guarantees better performance, the next brand proves that's not necessarily true. Brand 8, ACDelco. ACDelco has one advantage that almost no other brand on this list can claim. It's General Motors' original equipment supplier. That means millions of Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, and Buick vehicles leave the factory with an ACDelco battery already installed. For many drivers, that's enough to assume it's automatically the best replacement when the original battery wears out. Not so fast. ACDelco offers several battery lines, and the quality varies more than most people realize. Their premium AGM batteries are excellent, especially for modern vehicles equipped with start-stop technology and heavy electrical loads, but their standard flooded batteries are much less impressive, delivering performance that's solid, but rarely class-leading. Another factor is price. At a GM dealership, an ACDelco replacement often carries a significant markup. Yet comparable batteries from competing brands can deliver nearly identical performance for considerably less. That's where many buyers overpay. They're buying the familiar name that came with the vehicle rather than comparing what's actually available. If you drive a newer GM vehicle with an AGM battery from the factory, replacing it with another quality AGM battery makes sense, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an ACDelco unless the pricing is competitive. Buying rule: buy the AGM models if your vehicle requires them, but don't assume the dealership offers the best value. Compare prices before you commit, because the next brand proves that a budget battery can sometimes outperform brands costing substantially more. Brand 7. EverStart. EverStart has one thing working against it before you even walk into Walmart. People assume it's cheap, so it must be low quality. That's not always true. EverStart batteries are built by major manufacturers, including Clarios for many models, the same company behind several well-known premium battery brands. In other words, you're often buying a battery from one of the world's largest manufacturers, just with a different label on the case. That's why EverStart consistently surprises people in independent testing. The Max line, in particular, frequently delivers strong cold cranking performance, competitive reserve capacity, and reliability that rivals batteries costing considerably more. The problem is that the EverStart name covers several different product lines. The value line is exactly what the name suggests. It's built to meet a lower price point and is best suited for vehicles with modest electrical demands. The Max and Platinum AGM models are a different story. They offer noticeably better performance and are often among the strongest values in their respective categories. That makes EverStart one of the easiest brands to buy incorrectly. Many shoppers grab the cheapest one on the shelf, assuming they're all the same. They're not. Buying rule: skip the value line. If you're buying EverStart, choose the Max for conventional vehicles, or the Platinum AGM if your vehicle requires AGM technology. Because the next brand shows that a respected European name doesn't always translate into the best value for North American drivers. Brand 6. Bosch. Bosch is one of the most respected names in the automotive world. From spark plugs and fuel systems to braking components and sensors, the company has built a reputation for engineering excellence. So it's easy to assume their batteries are among the best you can buy. The reality is a little more complicated. Bosch doesn't manufacture all of its own batteries. Like many brands on this list, production is outsourced to major battery manufacturers, and availability varies depending on where you live. That means the Bosch battery you buy today may not be identical to one sold in another region or a few years ago. Performance, however, is generally solid. Bosch AGM batteries consistently perform well in independent testing, offering strong cold cranking power, dependable reserve capacity, and good reliability. The issue isn't quality, it's value. Bosch batteries are often priced higher than comparable models from Interstate, EverStart Platinum, or other leading brands that deliver nearly identical performance. In other words, you're paying a premium for the Bosch name without getting a meaningful performance advantage. That doesn't make Bosch a poor choice. It just means there are smarter buys if you're comparing batteries side by side. Buying rule: Bosch AGM batteries are a good option if they're competitively priced, but don't pay extra just for the badge. At the same price, there are brands that offer equal performance with stronger overall value. If you're finding this ranking useful, subscribe to the channel. We compare the products people buy every day, cut through the marketing, and show you where your money actually goes. Because from this point on, we're moving into the brands that consistently deliver excellent performance and genuine value. Before we get into the top 5, if you're finding this ranking helpful, hit subscribe. We compare the brands people buy every day, separate marketing from real-world performance, and help you avoid spending premium money on average products. If there's another automotive product you'd like us to rank, Whether it's motor oil, tires, spark plugs, wiper blades, or something else, let us know in the comments. Many of our best videos come directly from viewer suggestions. Now let's get into the brands that consistently deliver some of the best performance, reliability, and value on the market. Brand 5. Interstate. Interstate is one of those brands that rarely gets people excited. It doesn't have flashy advertising. It doesn't promise revolutionary technology, and it's probably not the battery your friends brag about buying. But ask professional mechanics what they install every day, and Interstate comes up again and again. There's a reason for that. Interstate has built its reputation on consistency. Rather than chasing the highest cold cranking numbers on the box, the company focuses on building batteries that deliver dependable starting power, solid reserve capacity, and long service life across a wide range of climates. That consistency has made Interstate one of the largest replacement battery suppliers in North America. The one thing buyers should know is that not every Interstate battery is exactly the same. Depending on the application and region, manufacturing has included major producers like Clarios, but Interstate maintains its own quality standards and testing requirements. In other words, you're not simply buying the factory that built it. You're buying Interstate's specifications. The AGM line is especially impressive, offering excellent performance for vehicles with start-stop systems, heavy electronics, or drivers who simply want maximum reliability. The only downside? Price. Interstate usually isn't the cheapest option on the shelf. But unlike some premium brands, you're generally paying for proven performance rather than just brand recognition. Buying rule. If you plan to keep your vehicle for several years, Interstate is one of the safest long-term purchases you can make. It's not the bargain choice, but it's consistently one of the smartest. But if you think this is as good as batteries get, the next brand raises the bar even higher by focusing almost entirely on performance. Brand 4. Odyssey. If Interstate is built for consistency, Odyssey is built for endurance. This is the battery you'll often see recommended for trucks, off-road vehicles, performance cars, and drivers who demand more than simply starting the engine. That's because Odyssey uses absorbed glass mat, or AGM, technology across its premium lineup. Compared to traditional flooded batteries, AGM batteries generally handle vibration better, recharge faster, and tolerate deeper discharges, making them an excellent choice for modern vehicles with heavy electrical loads. Where Odyssey really stands out is reserve capacity. Reserve capacity is how long your battery can continue supplying power if the charging system fails. Whether you're running accessories with the engine off or dealing with an alternator problem, that extra reserve can make the difference between getting home and calling for a tow. Independent testing has consistently placed Odyssey near the top for cold cranking performance, reserve capacity, and overall durability. Many owners also report service lives that exceed 5 years when the battery is properly maintained. The trade-off is obvious: price. Odyssey is one of the most expensive batteries you'll find at retail, and for drivers with a basic commuter car and modest electrical demands, much of that extra capability may never be used. That's why it's not our #1 pick. You're paying for exceptional performance, but not everyone needs exceptional performance. Buying rule. If you drive a truck, tow regularly, go off-road, or own a vehicle with heavy electrical demands, Odyssey is an outstanding investment. If your car is simply taking you to work and back, there are better values lower on this list. But our top 3 brands prove you don't always have to spend top dollar to get top-tier reliability. Brand 3. Optima. Few batteries are as recognizable as Optima. The bright red, yellow, and blue tops have become almost iconic in the automotive world. For years, they've been the go-to choice for enthusiasts, off-roaders, and anyone looking for something beyond a standard replacement battery. And unlike some brands that rely mostly on marketing, Optima does bring something different to the table. Its spiral cell AGM design packs the lead plates into tightly wound cylinders rather than the flat plates used in conventional batteries. That design makes the battery extremely resistant to vibration, one of the leading causes of premature battery failure, especially in trucks, Jeeps, and vehicles driven on rough roads. Optima batteries also recharge quickly and deliver strong starting power, making them well suited for performance vehicles and cars with upgraded electrical systems. But there is one reason Optima isn't higher on this list: value. Over the past decade, many independent tests and owner reports have shown that while Optima still performs well, the gap between it and competing AGM batteries has narrowed considerably. Brands like Odyssey and Interstate now offer comparable performance, often at a lower price or with better overall value. In other words, Optima is still an excellent battery. It's just no longer in a class of its own. If you specifically want the benefits of the spiral cell design or your vehicle sees constant vibration, it's an outstanding choice. For the average daily driver, however, you may be paying extra for advantages you'll never fully use. Buying rule: buy Optima if your vehicle experiences heavy vibration, off-road use, or demanding electrical loads. For everyday commuting, there are less expensive batteries that perform nearly as well. Verdict: worth it. But our top two brands prove that the very best battery isn't always the one with the biggest reputation. Sometimes it's the one that quietly delivers exceptional performance year after year. Brand 2, XS Power. If you've never heard of XS Power, you're not alone. Unlike most of the brands on this list, XS Power doesn't spend millions on advertising or try to appeal to the average commuter. Instead, it built its reputation in the performance world, where reliability isn't measured by convenience. It's measured by whether the battery can handle enormous electrical loads without giving up. Think competition audio systems, high-performance builds, off-road rigs, race cars, vehicles running multiple amplifiers, winches, auxiliary lighting, or other power-hungry accessories. That's where XS Power shines. Their AGM batteries are engineered to deliver extremely high current while maintaining excellent reserve capacity and vibration resistance. They recharge quickly, tolerate repeated deep cycling, and have earned an outstanding reputation among enthusiasts who push their vehicles far beyond normal driving conditions. The downside is that most drivers simply don't need that level of capability. If you're driving a stock sedan to work every morning, much of what you're paying for will never be used. It's like buying commercial-grade power tools to hang family photos. Impressive, just unnecessary. But if your vehicle has significant aftermarket electrical equipment, very few brands perform as consistently under heavy demand. Buying rule: if your vehicle runs high-powered accessories or you've built it for serious performance, XS Power is one of the best investments you can make. Otherwise, save your money for a battery that's better suited to everyday driving. But our number one pick manages to combine premium performance with something even more valuable: consistency. Brand 1, Odyssey. If this ranking were based on advertising, Odyssey wouldn't win. If it were based on brand recognition, it probably wouldn't even make the top 3. But when you look at what actually matters, starting power, reserve capacity, durability, service life, and long-term value, Odyssey keeps rising to the top. That's because Odyssey wasn't built to impress you on the shelf. It was built to keep working long after many competing batteries begin to lose performance. Its pure lead AGM construction allows for exceptional cold cranking performance, while also delivering outstanding reserve capacity and remarkable cycle life. Whether you're starting a truck on a freezing winter morning, powering a modern vehicle packed with electronics, or simply looking for a battery that can go the distance, Odyssey consistently delivers. Independent testing has repeatedly placed Odyssey among the best-performing batteries available, and owner reports frequently describe service lives well beyond 5 years when the battery is properly maintained. It's not inexpensive. In fact, it's one of the most expensive batteries on this list. But unlike many premium products, the higher price is backed by measurable performance rather than clever marketing, and that's an important distinction. The cheapest battery is rarely the one with the lowest purchase price. It's the one that lasts the longest, performs when you need it most, and doesn't leave you stranded on a cold morning. That's where Odyssey separates itself. You're buying reliability, you're buying consistency, you're buying confidence. Every time you turn the key. Buying rule: if you plan to keep your vehicle for years, or simply want one of the most dependable batteries you can buy, Odyssey is worth the investment. It isn't the cheapest battery on the shelf. It's the one we'd choose if we were spending our own money. 10 brands. 3 we'd only buy under the right conditions. and 4 that consistently deliver performance worthy of your money. If there's one lesson from this ranking, it's this: don't buy a battery based on the logo. Buy it based on how it's built and how it's likely to perform in your vehicle. The biggest surprises weren't the budget brands. They were the premium brands that relied on decades-old reputations, while competitors quietly caught up or passed them. And remember, the best battery for a commuter car isn't necessarily the best battery for a diesel truck, an off-road rig, or a vehicle with a start-stop system. Always choose a battery that matches your vehicle's requirements, not just the most expensive one on the shelf. The good news is that today's market has more quality choices than ever. Whether you're shopping at Walmart, Costco, an auto parts store, or a dealership, there are excellent batteries available if you know what to look for. Now, we want to hear from you. Which battery brand has lasted the longest in your vehicle, and which one completely let you down? Leave your experience in the comments below. Real-world ownership is one of the best ways to separate marketing from reality, and your feedback often helps shape our future rankings. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We test the products people buy every day, uncover what's actually worth your money, and help you make smarter buying decisions before you spend $1. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.